The US trade war doesn't seem to exactly be going to plan, but where some people see all of just this crazy chaos and uncertainty, others actually see a type of opportunity.
Louis Vuitton and Chanel will hate me if I tell you this, revealing the secret behind big brand. Let's go.
So what if I told you that this entire tariff situation with China has exposed a massively, and I mean massively, lucrative and entirely new business opportunity that we never had access to before, at least not at this scale. Now, what am I talking about? The luxury goods market. Handbags, shoes, jewelry, and much, much more. This poses a huge potential for profit to those that are savvy enough to be able to really take advantage of the situation. So what's going on? Well, China is not backing down. In fact, they're doubling down on their stance after Trump increased the import tariffs to 145%. Now, the Chinese makers of Western luxury products, they're suffering from the trade war, with huge decreases in orders. All the time on social media, you see pallets upon like just huge cargo containers that they're not moving. But these manufacturers, they still have mouths to feed. They still have families that they need to take care of. So because of this, they're offering to sell the very same products that they sell or that they make for brands like, let's say, Birkin or Fendi directly to the consumer at a massive discounted price. In some cases, we're even talking about like $20,000 less. Why? I mean, think about it. You can get a Birkin bag before the Birkin tag gets added on there, or Fendi or Chanel or whatever else there is, and you're going to be getting the exact same product, the exact same quality, just unbranded and much, much cheaper. Then you can sell it as an unbranded product, a generic product, or really just add your own logo or do whatever you want with it just to essentially resell it. And you're going to be giving your consumers or your customers the exact same quality products that these huge luxury brands are giving them at a very discounted rate. Now, it is very, very important to note that I'm not telling you to go ahead and purchase these products and then slap on a Fendi brand on there. No, that's completely illegal and that's intellectual property. You can't do that. But you can buy the unbranded, generic, unfinished version of it. When I say unfinished, I mean, without the logos on it, and then put your own logo on there. And at the end of the day, it's the same quality that these huge luxury brands are getting. Bro, this is like literal guerrilla warfare, except in modern times. It's really an attack on the US consumers, or not on the US consumers, but on consumerism. Now, what's the best part? Well, we as business owners, we can benefit from this. Like I just said, we can take advantage of these prices to resell. But besides that, it's still super early. This is just getting started. And if you ride this wave right, you're going to be making a lot, and I mean a lot of money. Now, let me just let you in on a quick little secret, because this right here, it seems to be the way going forward, or at least one of the different ways to be going forward. It has the potential to be insanely lucrative. How can we take advantage of this? Well, pretty easy. At this point, manufacturers from China, they're taking to social media to essentially bypass these big name brands. Again, like Gucci, Fendi, Birkin, Chanel, whoever else. And they're exposing who really makes their made in Italy products. Where is it made? Well, I mean, in China, of course. Chinese manufacturers, they're spilling all the beans. So they're telling you and they're showing you essentially that they're making the unfinished product. They're getting it like literally right to the very last step, right before the big name brand swoops in. They take the product, they ship it to their factory in Italy, France, the US, or wherever, and they simply just finish it off with a few tags and a logo. That's it. Kind of like iPhones, huh? Now, this isn't anything new. For the most part, we all knew that a Birkin bag that costs $34,000, like that's constantly being mentioned because that's actually one of the more popular examples that they're giving out right now. We know that it's not being sourced for that price or anywhere near that price. It's pretty obvious to some, but not all. And those who it's not obvious to, that's who we're going to be selling to, or who we have the potential to sell to. But besides that, what we never actually knew was exactly how much it was being sourced for. We don't know how much these big name brands are paying for it. And also, we never really knew where to get it from. We knew for the most part that it does come from China, but from who? What factories? But now, all of that is changing. All of the manufacturers essentially said, screw it, we need to make money, so let's get that Fendi bag however we can. Get it? You see what I did there? Get this bag, but with Fendi. Let's get this bag, but let's get this Fendi bag. No? No, okay, never mind. Now, it's not just luxury goods. There's also a lot of other manufacturers that are taking to social media to do the exact same thing and bypass the bigger name brands. One that has actually been popping up on my feed a lot lately, and is actually pretty entertaining, interestingly and oddly enough, is laundry pods. Like, it's really cool. I don't know, I guess because they're all colorful and stuff, but it's really fun to watch. But either way, these are usually selling for something around $12.99 for like pack of 40, and they average out to about 31 cents a piece. Now, these people or these manufacturers are selling it for 5 cents a piece. It's absolutely crazy how much cheaper it's getting made for in China with the same quality. Now, that might not seem like a lot, right? Because we're still talking about cents. But think about it in big terms, or in the longer run. Think about your pricing percentage, how much you're making as a profit potential, what you're flipping it for. You can easily sell this for 2 to 3 times the price at 15 cents each laundry pod, and you're still undercutting big name brands like, let's say, Tide for the same exact quality products. But besides that, today we're talking about luxury goods, so let's get back on topic. But if you do want to learn more about things like that or some other niches like that, just let me know down in the comments below. Also, make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos or any future updates on everything that's going on and how dropshipping essentially is evolving. So, how can we take this information and actually do something with it? Well, we now have direct access to the manufacturers that have access to and make the same exact products that the big name brands do. So in the case of, let's say, a handbag, right? The leather, it still comes from Italy, or it's imported to China from Italy. So they're using the same thing. They're also using the same high-end hardware like zippers, clasps, things that aren't cheap and actually break, all with the same luxury craftsmanship at a fraction of the cost. So this is what you need to do. Do you remember how I always say to stay vigilant and keep your eyes and ears open? Well, that's what we're going to start doing again. We need to start a new TikTok or an Instagram account, or both, and start scrolling. Don't watch anything for too long. Nothing, no brain rot, none of that stuff. So just keep scrolling until you find one of these manufacturer videos. Then when you come across one, and trust me, you will, then you just start watching it a few times, like it, save it, comment, engage on it, and little by little, TikTok and Instagram will start to show you more and more of this same type of video. But if you keep scrolling and you don't find anything, then just simply search for it and do the same thing. Now, just so you know, these videos have been a bit more prevalent on TikTok than they have on Instagram, but I have seen them on both platforms. But anyway, keep interacting with them, and little by little, you'll see that your feed is just gonna start to be more and more Chinese suppliers talking about the same topic. Okay, so now what? Well, now we do the one thing that we always say that you need to do, and that is communicate with your potential supplier. Send them a message. Check their communication, how long it takes for them to get back to you, and how friendly they are. Now, not just that, but also ask them a few different questions. And not basic questions, but important questions. Things like, do you support dropshipping? Are you able to send just one product at a time? Are you able to brand with my logo or my emblem? Do you wholesale, if that's something that you're even considering? And what's your MOQ, or minimum order quantity? Can you ship with my branded invoice? And things like that. Get specific. Now just keep on doing this with multiple suppliers, and eventually you'll find a few suppliers that are going to be pretty good to work with. Now also, this will take a couple of days, because trust me, I'm sure that most of us, we're going to get tired of scrolling TikTok all day. Well, I mean, some of us might, some of us probably won't. But either way, besides that, as time passes, because remember, we're still early in this entire process, as time passes, more and more manufacturers are going to start doing the same exact thing with exposing the brands that they sell to or that they manufacture for. So trust me, again, it's just getting started. There's much, much more to come. Now, not only that, but there's also a few other things that seem to be coming up. So some of these manufacturers, if not most of them, are actually also looking for agents as well. Now, an agent is essentially a middleman that can take the product or any product that you're trying to source from China and essentially store them for you in the US or in any other country. Now, agents too also work with multiple suppliers and multiple dropshippers or e-commerce owners. And this in itself, it could also be another huge and very lucrative opportunity. Most of these manufacturers in their videos, they're asking, are you an agent, or agents are welcome? And a few other CTAs like that, specifically targeting agents or people who want to become an agent, which means pretty soon that there could be US suppliers importing these luxury goods from China, again, to the US or even to some other countries. Some countries that have lesser tariffs in order to import them to the US. But wait, speaking about tariffs, won't those, and really all of our imports, still be hit with the tariffs? Yes, but it is important to remember that the perceived value for these products is going to be way, way higher than what we pay to really import them into the States. So let's go back to our Birkin bag, right? That's because again, that's the one thing that we keep seeing over and over. These retail for about $36,000, maybe less. Let's go with a cheaper one at $30,000. Now, if we take what these manufacturers are saying to face value, then they're being manufactured for about $1,600. So let's do some quick math. $1,600 adding in 145% in tariffs would be $3,920. If we're charged the $50 for the lower package value fee, which we shouldn't, but let's take the worst case scenario into consideration, then that would be a total sourcing price of $3,970. This bag could easily be sold for about $5,000. What's your profit potential? Well, let's take the $5,000 and subtract our sourcing price. So in total, with one sale, we could be making upwards of $1,080. What? That's insane. And remember, they're still the same quality material and the craftsmanship as the luxury brands, but at a much, much, much cheaper price. This is a huge opportunity for people to start their own boutiques and be able to sell these products easily at 2 or even 300% or more profit margins. That will easily cover the tariffs and still be way, way cheaper than these big name brands. So the tariffs, they've been posing a huge roadblock for many dropshippers and overall e-commerce owners. And many were scared that they were going to lose their business. And trust me, I feel you. It's some frightening times, right? Everything you've built for potentially just collapsing. Now, I'm going to be harsh here. Some people still might. Who? Well, those who don't adapt. Those who just stay stuck in the same old way of doing things and don't try to evolve their business model or the way that they do things. Now, who's going to actually persevere, make money, and continue doing what they're doing? Well, more than likely, you, the person who's watching this and actually actively taking steps to be able to succeed and move forward and adapt and evolve with the ever-changing dropshipping landscape. Look, e-commerce owners, dropshippers, anybody who sells online, we've been adapting for years upon years now. Again, it's an ever-changing landscape. There have been tons of roadblocks over the last few years, and those who have kept up to date with what's going on and are able to strategize appropriately, those are the ones who are still here and will still be here long after this entire tariff fiasco is essentially long gone. So taking all of this into consideration, what are your plans for your e-commerce business with this entirely brand new opportunity? Let me know down in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful or informational in any way, shape, or form. Huge thank you to everyone for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. My name is Mario with AutoDS, and I'll catch you all next time.